I was raised with a typical upper middle class mentality. Get educated, work hard, save your money, then eventually you will become wealthy and at the end of your life enjoy the fruits of your labor in retirement. And that is the path I followed most of my life. But ever since reading this book, Tim Ferriss' The 4-Hour Workweek, that completely changed. I was blown away by the idea that there was another way to live, to have autonomy on how I spend my time. And that was also the moment where I really connected money and freedom. So I knew I wanted to become a new rich. And I know it doesn't for everyone to live a certain lifestyle, but for me personally, it means to become a millionaire. I plan to hit that million mark by applying or using 5 different concepts that I have learned from successful business people over the last few years. Here they come. Concept number 1 is skill stacking. And I got this one from Alex Hormozi, who said it in an interview. And he basically says that if you have one skill, for example, the one from your job, that's already a good thing because it will earn you money. But with this one skill, there's probably a lot of other people who have that same skill too, so you're kind of competing with them. For example, that's the case for me working as a doctor, because there are lots of doctors out there. And I know from a patient's kind of perspective, sometimes these people can really seem unique. But out of a systems perspective, doctors actually need to be easily replaceable, because otherwise all the patients cannot be treated at the same standard. Alex then says if you can build up a second skill that you can combine with the first one, that already makes you a little bit more unique, and this might differentiate you from others. Also, the second skill can make the first skill more valuable. And the more of those different skills you can build up, the more you differentiate yourself from others and become more valuable within the market. Another skill I would say I have, for example, is saving and investing. And I learned that over the past 10 years. And up until a few months ago, I was only using it for myself or maybe with some friends that I talked to. But then I thought maybe other people can learn from my experience too. That's why I created this YouTube channel. But now in order to present that experience in a way that you understand it and have the same aha moments that I did, I need to learn how to present it properly, to speak in front of the camera, to include stories so you can better relate to the content. So I'm obviously not very good at it yet because this YouTube channel is still quite small, but I hope that by developing those skills over time, I will become better at this. Concept number 2 is leverage. And here I don't mean financial leverage where you borrow money and then invest in something that you think will take off and give you a capital gain. That is something I would never do, and neither should you as a private investor. But what I mean is leverage in the sense that you use something to create a better or more output for what you put in. For example, media. I use the internet, or more specifically YouTube, as a platform to bring the things I say in front of more people, because I could also tell all of this just one person and then I would need to say it again to a second person and a third person and so on. But with this video I created once and a lot of different people have the chance to watch it. Then I think applying knowledge is also a form of leverage. So I use what other people already learned out of several years of experience and learn from their mistakes so that I don't have to repeat them on my own. And I do that by reading books, by taking courses, by booking coachings and by listening to podcasts. And another form of leverage is to let other people do the work. For example, for things that I'm not particularly good at or that I can outsource for less than I earn. So for example, if I earn $40 an hour by working as a doctor, I could hire a cleaner for $20 an hour and then I can use that time for something else. Maybe even to earn more or to learn more. Concept number 3 is leaning in my own strengths. And that was actually a huge thing for me. In the field of positive psychology, they actually found out that it takes much more energy to fix your weaknesses than to work on your strengths. And we all do have things that we are good at and that we're not so good at. And I think that for your career, you should always choose something that plays at your strengths, because that way you can become much better at it and it's also much more fun. By the way, I'm a big fan of personality tests. I did the first one about 2 years ago. It's called the DISC personality test and it completely changed my life. You might also have heard of the 16 personalities test, which is similar but covers some more aspects. And regarding this strengths thing, when I was researching for this video, I actually stumbled upon a specific test for that. So this whole thing was developed by Donald Clifton, a psychologist who developed this concept of leaning into strengths rather than weaknesses and developed a test around it. And apparently strategic thinking and executive stuff is my strong suit. Anyway, if you're interested, I linked all of those tests down in the video description. Concept number 4 is surrounding myself with the right people. Now maybe you have heard of this before, that we are the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. I read this first in Jim Rohn's book 7 Strategies for Wealth and Happiness, and I was already very lucky that my mom taught me financial knowledge pretty early on. She told me all the stuff that she herself had read in books books, like to become wealthy you need to save money and not spend it all, never go into private debt, invest your money so you can let it work for you, stuff like that. And now that I'm kind of taking the entrepreneurial path and no one in my close environment is a business person, I use books and podcasts and courses to listen to people who are already on that path and that way surround myself with them. That also includes something that is called modeling of excellence, which means to observe, follow and replicate what other people have already done and that led to success. And the last concept is compound interest. Now this of course goes for money. I mean, saving and investing money to let it compound over time to build wealth is all that channel is about. But compound interest also includes other areas of life. Like in the book Atomic Habits from James Clear, all the good habits compound over time, and that includes investing in your health, investing in learning, helping people and also spending time with friends and family. This one surely is the hardest one to follow, because when you remember the compound interest curve, which looks like this, then you see that you have to put a lot of work into it over quite a long period of time. And of course, while you're doing that, you're already doing something for yourself in the short term. But the real results, where it really takes off, they are delayed. And you kind of have to trust that the results will eventually come. And that definitely for me is one of the harder parts. Now, if you want to learn more about the specific ways of becoming a millionaire, you might also enjoy this video. Thank you for watching and maybe I will see you there. Bye bye.